good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Because without you guys, well, I'd go insane without you guys. But I've always said before that this channel is not just about me or Jobu or anything like that, or even about the Cowboys, but it's really about all of us together. And we've gotten over the 16,000 plateau, which I am completely amazed that you guys actually want to hear what I have to say. But what I'm even more amazed is how much you guys are helping to make this thing even better. We got great guys like Joe that's out there, Joseph in Arizona, who's donated all kinds of Cowboys memorabilia and stuff to help us raise money to do more things and then stuff like the tailgate. I'm also amazed that like a lot of you guys, some news will break, and I'm at my day job and stuff, and people will send me a text to say, "Hey, this is going on," to look out for it. And even people sharing stuff that they know that's not public knowledge, about their own experiences with different players or coaches or families, about background on what's going on in confidentiality with me to help me do this program. And I can't thank everybody enough. You know, this season sucks. Let's just be honest. This season literally sucks. We had such high hopes and dreams and everything. I went into the season, of course, hoping that Jason Garrett could finally get it right, but had reservations about him like I always have. Because I think back in my personal situation, I played football at JMU. I was not that good or anything else. If anything, I was more like Rudy. I walked on and, got a little bit of playing time and stuff, but nothing major, nothing like NFL level. But I think back to the coaches that I had, ones that really motivated me. Because, see, when you get to the NFL, there's really not a lot of difference between teams. Some have a little bit more talent than others, but there really isn't a big difference. And what you'll see with the NFL, the reason that it's so unpredictable is you can have a team that's loaded with talent, but can't win. You have teams that you look at and say, how did they win? They were outmanned. A lot of it is coaching in situations, and sometimes it's just luck. Sometimes you get the ball that'll bounce your right way, or you'll get a call that will change momentum. And once momentum gets going, sometimes you just can't stop it. It's literally a snowball going downhill. And sometimes it's who wants it more. Maybe who's in better shape. Because if you can only play for 25 good plays, and you got to play for 60, then there's a problem. And that's where I am with our coaching, because I think back to conditioning. We used to run our ass off. We had a coach at JMU, Joe Persicki. And Joe Persicki would keep a foot in your ass. I remember back at JMU, training camp, which he ran like a boot camp. We had a 6 a.m. practice, and then we had brunch after practice. And while we were eating brunch, we were watching film of practice. Then we had a special team practice at like 12 o'clock. Classroom work in between. Then we had, after special team practice, we had weight training. Then we had an hour or two off, and then we had a 4 o'clock practice, in which case we had more film study. And he said he was running it like boot camp to try and make sure that you got everything. But I remember one practice. We were having terrible practice. This is training camp. It's about 90 degrees outside. And at the end of practice, we'd always run gassers, and gassers are sideline to sideline running. You run from one sideline to the other, back, one more time, and back. They'd have different times that you had to run it in, depending on what group you're in. If you're a fat ass like me, defensive lineman, you had to do it under 45 seconds and so on. So we ran our gassers. We ran like 10 of those. And when you're talking about 90-degree weather, after you've had a special team practice, a morning practice, and then another practice, and in the middle of training camp, your ass is just burnt. I mean, literally, your legs feel like spaghetti. But Coach Ruzicki had this whole attitude that whole day. You could tell he was just pissed off. So we ran those gassers, and he was like, you know what? You blank the blank, 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 blanks are just dogging it. Goal line. Okay? Next thing I know, we are running goal line to goal line to goal line. We're doing goal line gassers. 100 yards out, 100 yards back, 100 yards out, 100 yards back. We did 2 or 3 of those, and I mean literally everybody is sucking air. And he said, that ain't good enough. That is not good enough because you guys aren't doing crap. He then proceeded to make us crab. Goal line to goal line. And if you don't know what that is, that's literally being on all fours. And after running about 10 gassers, normal ones, and then running 2 or 3 gassers, 100 yards, after having a morning practice, a special team practice, after weightlifting, and then another practice, crabbing. Literally, by the time we got to the other end zone, people are just trying to roll. They're crawling. People are throwing up left and right. And I'll never forget Coach Ruzicki getting us all around together and talking to us. And he said, I wanted to take you through hell. I wanted you to realize that when you think you don't have anything else to give, late in that fourth quarter, when that game is on the line, that you know that deep down inside of you, there's still more to give. And I remember that clear as bell. At this moment, I'm feeling my lungs tightening up right now, just thinking about that. But that was motivation. That was conditioning. That was teaching you what was important, and that was one of those life lessons that coach taught to me. And I've got many other ones. Because Coach Ruzicki could get me literally ready to run through a brick wall. And it's the coaches out there that can not only come up with a game plan, because in the end, football is about beating the person in front of you. But it's the guy who can motivate. The guy who can fire up players. And that's what I don't see in Jason Garrett. I'm sorry. It's Little League. I've said it for so long. Jason Garrett reminds me of a Little League coach where everybody gets a participation trophy. Don't worry, Johnny. You did a great job out there. We'll get them next time. No. I want a coach who's like a pit bull, that puts the fear of guys keeping their job in them. A guy who teaches them beyond the X's and O's. A guy who will motivate them to get every ounce out them, because football is war. Forget about it trying to be made that it's all clean cut like a gentleman's sport like golf. It's not. It's literally, whose head can you knock off? I'm hoping that Jerry Jones will wake up and realize he's got to change. You got to change what you're doing. Certainly got to change the coach. You got to change philosophies. That is, if we want to get to the Super Bowl again. And I'm hoping that's what Jerry wants to do again, but I'm not so sure. But time will tell. But again, thank everybody for all the great emails, for all of the Facebook messages, the Instagram messages, all the comments and everything else, because this thing only gets good with you guys. Hey friends, Jobu here with the Jobu Sports Report. It's 3rd down and 2 after another big turnover. Let's see if our Cowboys can do it. Cole Beasley gets the first down. Woo! It's 14-13 here, reporting live from FedEx Field. And let's keep watching the game here. It's really a bad hair day for me, I gotta tell you.